Why is there absolutely no Bitcoin pump with over $3 billion of capital flows with the Bitcoin ETF? The price has done absolutely nothing. Can we thank Jim Cramer for this? Bitcoin hit 49K, it's sitting about 46K. We'll get into the price. It's not over. Retail, they are actually being blocked, and banks are doing the same thing from buying the ETF. Elon Musk also said yesterday on a Twitter space that he is open to bringing Bitcoin back to X. We've got a massive show, so let's just get straight into it. Bitcoin Archive, just in spot, ETF trading volumes break over 3 bill for the day. Absolutely huge. Got a couple of things that I want to dive into. So, James, my thoughts so far, we're three and a quarter hours into the first trading session. It's about an hour old, maybe a little bit longer. Give it time. The market is uncertain as much as everyone else. There's so much FUD circulating around the GBTC, Vanguard, etc., and Bitcoin is holding 46K. The volume is immense. BlackRock has seen almost 800 million volume, 2 bill combined. We'll jump into the numbers more refined shortly. The market buys don't happen until after market close, or at earliest around 3 p.m. If I bring up the New York time now, we can see it's 2:34 p.m. at the moment. So in the next half hour, we should start to see a little bit of movement, if that is correct. Jumping back on. Oh, this is the best Bitcoin ad so far by anyone. Van Eck smashing it out of the park again. I'll retweet at Sean Clark 911 for everyone, but I'll just push a play.
The world holds on to old ways until it can't. When Bitcoin was born, it broke that endless cycle. It's not a defiance of finance. Bitcoin may help guard against the government devaluing your money. Finally, you can buy and hold Bitcoin in an ETF with the Van Eck Bitcoin Trust, HODL. Search the ticker HODL in your stock trading app today.
It's like a mini movie. How good is it, hey? It's definitely by far the greatest one that's come out. So jumping into the numbers, exchange USD per BTC 46,617 sats per USD 2,145. Black Height 825,353 543 local time AM. This is usually the time that we go live, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be over the place for the next week, and then we'll be back into the standard time as well. Last block reward, 7.2777. Bitcoin fees made up 1.02. We are under 15,000 blocks at 14,647 blocks to go to the halving. We are estimated April 22 at this stage. We'll keep you up to date. Running a little bit high here. 10 minutes and 18 seconds. So in regards to the numbers, Eric, again, the most verifiable source on Twitter in regards to anything in regards to the SEC or the ETF. The SEC absolutely botched up that, obviously, over the last couple of days. We've dived into it. The 10 fresh spot Bitcoin ETFs have seen 1.3 billion trading volume so far as a group. They already topped Bito's record. If we add in GBTC, we get to 2.3 billion, which is a record. And if we add in Bito, which is having a record day too, but isn't part of the spot race, we get 3.5 billion for the complex. You can see IBIT there, 630. They're over 800 million as we speak at the moment. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see what starts to happen around 3 p.m. And now we've got this one coming out. Bitcoin spot settles after 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using daily average price of settlement. ETFs rely on third-party Bitcoin analytic firms to weigh price from global exchanges. ETFs will buy the Bitcoin from OTC desks between 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to rebalance. So a couple of mixed sources out there, whether it's in the next half an hour and a half, the next 2.5 hours. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If they're going to continue to do this, be interesting to see what happens on those really volatile days as things heat up. Shout out to everyone in the chat that is watching live. You can smash the like button. Now, Peter Schiff, It's pretty interesting. He's actually summed it up pretty well. So credit where credit is due. Most of the inflows into the top, or the 10 spot Bitcoin ETFs will likely come from outflows from the high cost newly converted GBTC ETF as discount arbitrers take profit, as well as from other Bitcoin proxies like MicroStrategy. And then he goes on with his absolute nonsense. So GFY, Peter Schiff, Jim Cramer, this is probably what it really comes down to, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, you would expect a top in Bitcoin or a sell the news situation. I'm not even sure this happens. Yesterday, when I saw this, I said, Jim, please just stop. But obviously, he cannot stop. Now, we are seeing platforms where you can and you can't buy ETFs. Both Fidelity, Charles Schwab, the spot Bitcoin ETFs are available. Platforms where you can reportedly not purchase the Bitcoin ETFs, and this is starting to blow up on X, on Twitter. Vanguard, Citi, Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones, UBS. I think Vanguard's the biggest one there that are really preventing people from buying it. If you're on JP Morgan's interface, they're throwing a warning when you try to buy BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. We get it, JP Morgan. The boss hates Bitcoin for political reasons, but you are also named as an AP in BlackRock's offering, so just accept your fate already. Review all warnings. Cryptocurrency-linked instruments present unique risks and may experience high volatility. For more information, see jpmorgan.com/complex funds. In regards to Vanguard, what they're doing, block clients from buying the Bitcoin ETF. Vanguard, one of the largest asset managers in the world, is preventing customers from buying the newly approved Bitcoin ETF. So they're going to hold the stance. Are they going to make themselves liquidated? They already are. But are they going to go for mass extinction here, Vanguard, or are they going to come over in due course? An attempt to invest in BlackRock's IBIT or Grayscale Bitcoin Trust via a Vanguard retirement brokerage account generated a trade cannot be completed. A warning, buy orders are not currently accepted for the security, the message said. Securities may be unavailable for purchase at Vanguard due to a number of variables, including regulatory restrictions, corporate actions, or various trade and or settlement issues, volatility. Vanguard spokesperson could not be reached by press time. The block side and a Vanguard spokesperson report that Vanguard has no plan to permit buying a Bitcoin ETF side in their high volatility. GFY Vanguard. So we've seen this, but just a real quick recap on them. The ETF tickers are IBIT, GBTC, FBTC, HODL. It definitely takes the cake. VanEck has really come out. Now, I've got some amazing things that VanEck is doing for the core Bitcoin community as well. They take the slice with HODL, Wisdom Tree, BTCW, BitsB, BTCO, Money Printer Go Burr with Valkyrie, ArcB. Hashjacks has definitely got the worst one out of it, or maybe Franklin. Interesting, Franklin. I've got a picture that I can bring up where they've changed Franklin Templeton to the Laseride Maxi EZBC. That's pretty horrific, but so is DeFi. That's pretty cringeworthy there. Peter Schiff, a little bit bitter that gold's not getting exposure, and gold's going to get less and less exposure. So we're going to see more and more of this from Peter Schiff. The COPE is going to be at an all-time high. CNBC is pulling out all the stops today to drive its audience into buying the newly approved Bitcoin ETF. Non-stop parade of crypto industry shills touting Bitcoin without any pushback from the host or contrarian voices invited on air to argue the bearish case. GBTC, this is definitely... we've showed you a couple of cringe advertisements for Bitcoin, but by far this takes the cake in being the worst, and then we'll get onto it. Shout out to everyone in the chat. If you are watching live and you haven't already, if we vibe, hit subscribe. You will get the news with the fast facts. Any questions, comments, save them for the end in that live chat, and humble the like button. We'll play this. Sorry, it's pretty bad. It's actually really bad.
Diversifying into Bitcoin? Type GBTC into your investment account today, or ask your financial advisor about the world's largest Bitcoin ETF. Ticker GBTC. Bitcoin investing begins here.
Yeah, righto. Well done, GBTC. Maybe that's why they're seeing such outflows and going with 1.5% for their fee as well. It looks like all the GBTC, and that is probably one of the reasons why we're not seeing huge flows as well. People are getting out of GBDC. Why would you stay in there unless it's for tax reasons? Obviously, just real quick, not financial advice. Study Bitcoin. I just want a massive shout out. If you have not already read Bitcoin Evangelism, really good, and it's a good book actually to read to be able to distinguish, because we're going to hear about blockchain and crypto and DeFi, all these leveraged plays. Friends, family, if you haven't read it already, there's a link in the description. Awesome book, #1 bestseller on Amazon. So, Fred, here's what I think is happening with GBDC. The premium as high as 19% December 21. If you bought GBDC anywhere over 36K in 2021, you're only just now getting back to break even. That's the psychological level for those people that are just saying, got out of the bad trade without a loss. Eric says, $500 million. This is about the multiplier effect. Yesterday we talked about 118 to 1, and it's been confirmed at 1 to 96, or 96 to 1. Eric says 500 mil of volume has caused a move, a 48 billion increase in Bitcoin market cap, means the current multiplier effect is 1 to 96. $1 in causing a $96 increase in Bitcoin market cap. Study these moments to understand the bull market multiple or multiplier have been disgusting for months. If you're not already following British Hodl, was going to come on this morning here. The timing just couldn't work out, so we'll get British back next week. Another reason to hit subscribe and that notification, as well as we were going to have Matt Hogan on today as well, the CIO of Bitwise. Obviously, due to everything that is happening, we'll get him on next week for everyone there. Vanguard banning all Bitcoin ETFs from their platform. That's by Eric reposting James Lavish. Reports that Vanguard is completely blocking customer access to publicly listed SEC-approved Bitcoin ETFs, and customers can now only sell GBDC. One thing I want to say is this way: hold the real Bitcoin. You stack, you chill, you put in cold storage, get your seed off paper. It's $11 on Amazon, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. There's no link, there's no nothing for it. If you want the Rolls Royce, there's a link for Cedar on the description, but please just get it off paper. Been talking to some people lately that have huge amounts of Bitcoin that's still stored on paper. Some people still on the exchange. Absolutely crazy. So if you're listening, you know who you are. Get it off the exchange. Absolutely insane. It's ludicrous. I don't know why you'd do that to yourself. Now, a little bit old, but the spot Bitcoin ETFs crossed $1.2 billion in trade volume in the first 30 minutes of trading. It's not fancy, but here's the Kentucky Derby as I'm watching it. VanEck, HODL got a later start than the others, but Grayscale, GBTC, and BlackRock are hot out of the gate. 1.2 bill in 30 minutes. Pretty insane, hey? Just a reminder, Vanguard, Citi, Merrill, Edward Jones, UBS are all being reported to not allow clients to trade the ETF. Now, Nayib Bukele absolutely flexing, and as he should. So we got in way before BlackRock. What an absolute legend, hey, in regards to it. This is actually a pretty cool one. It's very fast. It moves very, very quickly. But this is by ARK Invest. Are you ready for it? It happens super fast. Let's go.
When it comes to Bitcoin, aren't you just a little bit curious? ARKB, regulated, direct access to Bitcoin, available through your existing investment account.
That's pretty cool, hey? I like that one as well. It's a little bit trippy. It moves very, very quickly. So I'll repost that again at Sean Clark 911 if you want to see that there. Now, we need to give a shout out to Cameron Winklevoss here, Cameron and Tyler. Today is 3,845 days in the making. Happy Bitcoin ETF approval day. So when are we going to see the moon? It's the time here, the time in New York is 2:54. So do we start seeing some price movement? We'll jump into the charts. Bitcoin's just at 46.6 at the moment. It'll be interesting to see when they do start buying. Now, better markets, I don't know, tinfoil hat, paid propaganda by Senator Elizabeth Warren, but the SEC government action, they're a non-for-profit organisation. I take it back. They're just putting out information here. The SEC's biased information government's action today has changed nothing about this worthless financial product, Bitcoin, and crypto still have no legitimate use to remain the preferred product to speculators, gamblers, predators, and criminals, and continue to be cesspools of fraud, manipulation, criminality. Read more in our statement. I'm not going to repost that, ladies and gentlemen. That's as much as you need to know. They're touting the same words, Elizabeth Warren, Jamie Dimon. Now, this guy's real interesting, hey? Bitcoin represents serfdom, stagnation, subjugation to the tyranny of the discredited ideas from the Middle Ages. Fiat money represents a future of growth. Yeah, because they inflate it. That's how fiat money represents a future of growth. Sovereignty, definitely not, and freedom and advanced information economy. Yeah, well done with your CBDCs, bro. Best of luck. Now, Peter Schiff, again, he just can't help himself. We'll give him a little bit of space because he did pretty well with GBDC. In addition to all the previously existing ways to gamble on Bitcoin, there are now 11 more ways for speculators to place their bets. The problem for the bulls is now what's left to bet on. It's just too bad that Bitcoin itself has no actual real-world utility like gold. Okay, Peter, well done, mate. Absolutely well done. It'll be very interesting if he ever changes his tune. Max Kaiser was telling him, I think, when it was about $1 there. So he's been on the wrong side of history the whole time. He's continuing to be. I understand there's not a massive pump. We haven't seen an all-time high of $69,000 today or as of yet. We'll see what happens today, tomorrow, over the weekend as well. There's a limited supply. It's Bitcoin, ladies and gentlemen. It will go up. It is number go up. We've got the halving coming, and the greatest election year in human history worldwide, over 3 billion people. Voting rates are going to get cut this year as well. Not financial advice, just my opinion. It's all lining up for massive, massive news, the FASB accounting. Now, Elon Musk as well. This is a huge catalyst if true. Almost rage quit on Twitter yesterday, but this is what Elon Musk has to say.
Bitcoin as part of the infrastructure.
Yeah, I'm open to the idea of using Bitcoin. I mean, it's like I said, it's of the various things that I think about Bitcoin very little.
He's open to the idea of using Bitcoin, but what he thinks about Bitcoin very little. I actually don't believe Elon Musk on that point. I think he's looked into it quite a lot and probably understands it as well as everyone here, if not more. This, though, iShares BlackRock, the case for IBIT. Number one, access to Bitcoin. IBIT enables investors to access Bitcoin, the world's leading cryptocurrency, within a traditional brokerage account. Two, through the convenience of an ETF, IBIT can help remove operational burdens associated with holding Bitcoin directly, as well as potentially high trading costs and tax reporting complexities. Built by the largest ETF providers, built by BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager and ETF provider with a history of innovation. Pretty good video there as well. I reposted that yesterday, but that's iShares by BlackRock. If you just go onto iShares.com and then search for the case for IBIT, it's pretty good. The video's pretty good. Matt Hogan, CEO of Bitwise, he'll be on here next week if we can align the time. Correctly was an ETF. An ETF is a tool that lets individual investors access the market if these institutions would let them access the market. In much the same way as large institutional investors, the same fees, the same exposure, the same protections. At the moment, it still is just the large institutional investors in there until they really open up and the marketing kicks in to force. The race to acquire a piece has begun. Remember, there are only 21 million, and this is the seed funding numbers there. We are seeing huge flows in there. Nothing still with the price, ladies and gentlemen. I had to verify this was true, but this is the new Franklin Templeton profile picture there. Crazy, hey? It's I don't know if it's on point or on brand with them, but it's still pretty cool to see. They are putting laser eyes, one of the largest asset managers in the world. You can't change Bitcoin. Bitcoin changes you. Hunter, so this is the CEO of Bitwise. I'm thrilled after 6 years to be launching the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF. Bitsby, I'm also thrilled that so many fantastic firms, BlackRock, Fidelity, VanEck, Invesco, Galaxy, ARK21 Shares, Franklin, Wisdom Tree, Valkyrie, Grayscale hashtags are putting their weight behind driving the space forward. It's a great day for Bitcoin and for investors. Well done on thanking your competition there as well. Bitwise are really just doing everything right, aren't they? Their marketing is on point. And the message, ladies and gentlemen, is get to 1 Bitcoin. We've got an opportunity 2 days still to get to 1 Bitcoin. So hopefully you have been stacking and chilling. And I'm a huge advocate of self-custody. The ETF will open it up to a lot of people in the world. But what Bitwise is doing, their ads are on point, their branding's on point. They've come in with the lowest fees at 20 basis points. And Bitwise will donate 10% of the profits of the Bitwise Bitcoin ETF ticker BitB to Bitcoin open source development. Absolutely massive. They didn't need to do that. And I did send them a message saying no strings attached. Senator Cynthia Alumnus, I'm thrilled the SEC government had granted approval for all 11 spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds. The SEC decision to comply with the Grayscale court rule and approve the pen Bitcoin spot ETFs to be listed on registered national security exchanges is a historic decision for the crypto asset industry or community. It will provide millions of Americans with easier access to crypto assets and allow them to benefit from professional managers and more competitive fees. This move demonstrates that responsible innovation in the crypto asset markets is possible and further underscores the need for the clear and common sense framework Luminous Gillibrand established in the space. We'll race through. Kathy Wood, we are talking to state pension funds and state treasuries about investing in Bitcoin as well. Bitcoin fees, they just keep dropping there. It is a race to the lowest. I wonder if we'll see more if they are all locked in there. This was Charlie Shrem. Good documentary on who Charlie Shrem is if you don't know who this legend is. This was in 2013. He predicted Bitcoin going to $14.17. So over time, Bitcoin is up and to the right. Gary Gensler apologising to Elizabeth Warren there. John Rowe's decision to approve the spot Bitcoin ETF is a significant step forward. It's clear that the American people have a desire to invest in this new technology, and our laws and regulations should reflect and welcome that desire, not shun it like the SEC chair. Gary Gensler is done for too long. Bitcoin ETFs were finally just approved for trading today after 10 years. This is Edward Snowden chiming in. May the politics in Congress around cryptocurrency, maybe the politics in Congress around crypto will get better once they realise it's backstopping pension funds and retirement accounts. Edward Snowden, what an amazing man, hey? Adam back thanking Tyler and Cameron. It's been a long ride, just over a decade since your first ETF application, but finally ETFs approved. I assumed a few years originally. Thanks for the perseverance. Also good to see Gemini in the mix as custodian of the Van Eck Spot ETF. The most pathetic approval statement. Oh man, Gary, wasn't he bitter yesterday? Shout out to everyone that is in the chat. If you are just tuning in, we'll get into the comments and any of the banter very shortly. We'll bring it up on stage for you. Do us a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button if we vibe. Let's smash it out of the park. Let's start this year hot. But Gensler, absolute clown world. When my wife read it, my wife said, he sounds like a bitter man. He just sounds like a spoiled toddler, I believe is the phrasing that she used. So the most pathetic approval statement that could have been made for the Bitcoin ETF was made. We won and the tears on the paper were delicious. More to come. While we approved the listing and trading of certain spot Bitcoin ETP shares today, we did not approve or endorse Bitcoin. Investors should remain cautious about the myriad risks associated with Bitcoin and products whose value is tied to crypto. I'll repost this for everyone instead of playing another video there. Commissioner Pearce on the harms caused by dragging out the Bitcoin ETF approval for years. First out, arbitrary and capricious. This is Hester Pearce inside the SEC. Treatment of applicants in this area will continue to harm our reputation far beyond crypto. Diminished trust from the public will inhibit our ability to regulate the markets effectively. This saga will taint future interactions between the industry and our staff and will dampen the rich, informative dialogue that best protects investors. Second, our disproportionate attention on these filings has diverted limited staff resources away from other mission-critical work. Over 10 years, likely millions of dollars of staff time has gone towards blocking these applications. It keeps going on. I'll just read this one here. Fifth, we have alienated a generation of product innovators within our space. Our unreasonable approach to these applications has signaled that regulatory prejudice against new products and services can lead us to sidestep the law and unreasonably delay product launches. The industry has logged hundreds of meetings, has filed submissions, withdrawals, and amendments, and ultimately had to resort to a costly legal battle to get us to today. So thanks very much, GBDC Grayscale. We've got 46,609 on there. It hasn't actually updated, but a nice 69 to start the day. We are moving up a little bit, 46,854. It is 3 p.m. in New York as well, so we'll start to see if we get a bit more buying pressure. And if we come back up to the highs, we hit 48,887 with a low of 45,352. Up, down, and sideways. It sort of seems like a nothing burger, but it is about to ramp up exponentially. So I'm going to jump in to the comments. Shout out that to everyone that is watching live, watching the replay. What a good day. To be able to front run the institutions, how remarkable, hey? Science of the Forest, g'day. Orange Peel dispense, let's pump it up. We got to pump it up. The 3 rules still apply. G'day, mate. Morning, Bitcoiners, baseline. Benny, Jose, appreciate it. Brendan, here for the revolution. Subscribe and hit the like. Eminem or MM? Felt like an anticlimax. The manipulation, it does a little bit feel like an anticlimax, but if we went to 50,000 today, and that's still a possibility. If we went to 50,000, like I wish I bought more. I'm waiting for funds to transfer. They should be there this afternoon. So regardless if it goes up or down, I'll be buying. You do you. It's an absolutely amazing opportunity. Peter Shift, Morden, Orange Pill again. Cyber Dude, I purchased 3 different ETFs on Fidelity this morning inside my IRA. Well done. Daddy-O, how much longer before the Wall Street banksters capture another crypto? Nothing wrong with warning about ETFs, in my honest opinion. I wouldn't tell anyone to take on counterparty risk without it. Dida, good to see you, brother. Simon, Baseline Benny, Bitcoin for all. Dial 911. It sounds like he's saying here. Or Ashton Clark, 911. Woke up to an unbelievable opportunity. Thank God for at least one more day of cheap sats. Absolutely. That's the attitude. The entire white paper peer-to-peer concept just got pooed on today. Not really, because holding Bitcoin in self-custody still is real Bitcoin. You can still do that. It's just price exposure and allows people to have an inflation hedge. That's the way I see it. They can use it to lend and stuff against, but it's not real. Quote unquote, they can call it real Bitcoin. It's not real Bitcoin. Hold it in self-custody and it still holds true. CPI wasn't as bad as everyone was making out to be, especially Core. We'll look into that. Didn't the miners already change Bitcoin? It's called a fork. It has, Bitcoin's been forked many times, and we have seen that with the forks, BSV, Bitcoin Cash, and enjoy that game. Shout out to Tennessee. I'm sure they will try and sell Bitcoin. They didn't have to, but the blockchain doesn't lie. Exactly, Tennessee. Great show. Well done, Mike. Good to see you. Simon, I agree that the white paper shut on. The thing is, though, Bitcoin and its value is based on how it is used and everything that's built on top of it. So time will tell how this goes. So what you need is self-custody. Hold Bitcoin yourself, and we are here for the revolution. Holding an ETF, you're not a self-sovereign individual, that's for sure. Just stack, chill, hold your keys, and find ways to help the community. Take a drink of water. Absolutely. Thank you. Spring water only. Subscribe, light up the bell for all notifications. McLovin, good to see you, brother. Bitcoin will save the world. Just a matter of time, ladies and gentlemen. For us, for number go up. It's an interesting day. I'll keep you up to date on Twitter over the next couple of hours with what's going on. We'll just check one more time. 46,877. So it's not doing much at the moment. Maybe a little bit of a nothing burger off to the start. Huge amount of capital inflows. It is a record. Prepare. Maybe there's a delayed rise. Maybe we get nothing until the halving. I don't see that, but what an amazing time to be here, to be able to front run institutions, to be able to beat BlackRock. Need to pay my respects to you, ladies and gentlemen. Have a very beautiful day. We'll see you on the next video. Be blessed. Peace.